Hi, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day today. My name is Victoria. I am co-owner of OTR Smokehouse. We are a little food truck with big dreams serving really good food and amazing sauce. Today, I'm going to try something new again. I don't know, I've on this brownie kick, I guess. The gooey brownies were really good, but I don't know. I like a firmer brownie, maybe not as gooey. So I found this chocolate celebration cake. It's kind of brownie-esque, and it's cake, and it doesn't require cocoa powder. So I can use my chocolate chips. So that's what we're doing today. Okay. So again, this is my first time making this, so I hope it goes well. Fingers crossed. So first off, naturally, you preheat your oven. They want you to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. This recipe is by Liz Zunon, Zunon, from found on the Storied. The Storied, yeah. So I found this recipe on the Storied recipe. That's a little website. So, preheat oven, 350, grease your pan, way over there, too. Alright, next thing. So, I'm going to have to sift my flour. So, I need 1 1/4 cup flour. So in order to get the proper amount of flour and not get too much, you kind of want to fluff it with a spoon. Just make it all nice and airy. And you just kind of spoon it in. Don't like shake it to try and even it out, because then you're just losing all those little air pockets that you created, and you don't want it packed. You want it loose and airy. We're just going to fill it up real good like that. Take the knife, kind of go from the middle out. And go back and forth. And there you go. It's a nice 1 cup of flour. That's probably going to be too much for my little sifter. Yep. That's all right. And I can even just kind of scoop up a little bit right there. And then I need a 1/4 cup more. There it is. 1/4 cup. Alright, again, let's make our flour all fluffy. Put it closer to me this time. Keep it fluffy. You don't want it packed. If it's packed, it's too much. And since it's smaller, you can just go back and forth a little bit like that. There you go. Perfect. Because, yeah, I have done that, you know, packed it down and then made whatever it was, and it was really flowery tasting. And I did a little research and found out that that might be why. And so I stopped packing it in there, and our things turn out much better. All right, so I've got my 1 1/4 cup flour in there. Now I'm gonna add my baking soda, baking powder. So it's 2 teaspoons. So I've got my baking powder right here. So I got 2 teaspoons. And again, you just kind of, sometimes it gets a little hard in there. Just kind of want to get it so where you can get a good amount. And then you just use the lid. Just kind of like that. Alright, there's 1. I don't think I've ever sifted baking soda before. I have done flour before. Alright. Now I need 1 more. Oh, I had a big rocket. Alright. I'm just using the lid. Oh, I did much better that time. Alright, so there's 2. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. All sifted in with my flour. There we go. Alright. Baking powder away. I'll put that away in a little bit so I have a little bit more room and not nearly as crowded feeling. Alright, so I sifted my 1 1/4 cup flour and my 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I'm going to add my salt, so that's just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to, if I open it better. There we go. Alright, and again, I'm just going to use my knife and just level it off. Throw that right in there. Alright, and I'm done with my salt. There we go. Right over there too. Alright, so now I have my 4 ounces of chocolate chips. You want semi-sweet chocolate. You can either buy like the chocolate baking bars, I guess, and chop them up. I'm just using some chocolate chips. And then I've got 1 stick of butter. I have it all chopped up into, like, you know, little pieces, smaller, thinner pieces, because I was trying to get them to room temperature. So I think they're doing all right, but the room's kind of cold because it's still cold outside. So yeah, it is what it is. So what we want to do now is we want to melt these guys together. And this time, instead of doing it on the stove top, I'm going to do it in the microwave because that's how they said to do it. So I'm just going to follow their directions. And so let's do it in 20-second increments until it's all nice and melty. So let's see. a whole lot yet, but we got a little bit of something going on. Do it for 20 seconds again and see how it turns out this time. Oh yeah. I don't know, my butter's all melted. My chocolate, I think, is just starting to do something. So maybe I'll try one more 20-second increment and see how that does. Oh yeah, I think that's better. I still got, you know, some. Maybe if I just sit here and stir it for a bit, maybe it'll. Because I don't want to overdo it, because then it won't be good, right? So it says melt the chocolate and the butter. Oh yeah, I think that's working. It's getting less chunky. Yeah, let me close this. See? Still has some chunks in there. Just keep going a little bit. Try doing some figure eights. See if that helps. Sometimes that's a good way to do it. Not finding as many chunks now. Oh yeah, hey, that's good, yeah. Alright, what's next? I melted the chocolate and the butter. Oh, so yeah, 1 stick of butter and 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. Now it says I can whisk, so I'm going to whisk it, well, beat and then whisk. So I'm just going to use my mixer. So I put this in and add sugar, add sugar to the chocolate and then beat well. So maybe I can just, I don't know. That might make it cold. So, alright. So, sugar. I need a 1/4 cup of sugar. I gotta remember to put the spoon back in there. That's good. Alright. So you just fill it up to the tippy top. Take your handy dandy knife and there we go. Alright. So I've got 1/4 cup of regular granulated sugar. Just throw that in there. Give it a good stir. Oh, see, I almost forgot again. I keep forgetting to put that spoon back in there. There we go. Alright. Because that's for our coffee. Alright, now I got even more room. Woohoo! It's nice. Nice time. So I have saran wrap on this because my handle broke. It had a flippy handle that would make it back, you know, seal and unseal. These were my mom's. So they're quite old. I'm surprised they've lasted this long. So that recently broke. So here we are. All right. So now I'm going to be needing 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. So what I do is I just get it really good and packed, and then you want to pack that brown sugar in there. You take your knife and, oh yeah, that's good and packed in there. And then you just scrape it right off. All right, and then when it comes out, I'll show you right here. It should come out just like that. See how it's perfectly formed, like what, you know, yeah. You know what I mean. You know the thing. The deal, the drill, the whatever. All right, so there's one. I need 3 more, or 2 more of these. Nice and packed. 2. And 3. All right. There we go. So I'm hoping that's keeping my container closed really well. All right. I got my sugar in there, and then I'll just mix that all up too. Beat, wow, you gotta beat it. Beat it, beat it. All right, so you beat it up until it's mixed well, I'm guessing. No lumps from the brown sugar. So I'm thinking that's beat well. I mean, there's not much more you can do to it. All right. But I do know that after this, I'm going to be whisking. So I don't have my little metal whisk. All I have is that crappy plasticky whatever one. So I'm going to use the KitchenAid. Because now I'm going to whisk in the eggs and the milk. So let me get my chocolatey concoction out of here. Yeah, so I'm going to, there we go. Just to make my life easier. And I don't think I have a hand mixer, and if I do, I'm not sure how to use it. I'll have to play with it one day. Not do it on a video. I already feel like I make enough of a fool of myself. Don't need you trying to use new devices too. Alright. So that's good. I don't get to use my whisk attachment often. Alright. I don't have a whole lot of space. That out. There we go. Alright, now you can see the KitchenAid. Alright, let's try to get that chocolate goodness right off of there. Alright, so whisk in eggs and milk, and then I'm gonna need to get to my liquid to be shiny like chocolate syrup. So we're looking for a consistency and a look of chocolate syrup. So I'm going to lock that down. And I got 3 eggs. I should probably do this in a bowl just in case I drop a shot. Huh, that wouldn't be good. Now it doesn't say that I have to like do one by one or anything, but oh yeah, I gotta plug it in. That would help. Plug it in. Hey, that'll work. was my 3 large eggs, and then I have here a 1/4 cup of milk. I'm thinking that's good. It's got some air bubbles in it, maybe. Let's see if that's, yeah. Maybe it's shiny. I don't know if you guys can see that. And it's running off the thing pretty good. Just trying to make sure I got everything off the bottom. Nothing stuck to the sides. Getting it all to be like, looks delicious. Alright, let's move that guy out of the way. I think I'm done with you. Alright, so next, I've got my sugary, chocolatey, eggy, milky, liquid, syrupy goodness right here. So I poured this into my flour mixture. And then I stir it just until it combined. So don't overmix. Okay. Oh, goodness. I hope that's a lot of pressure, I feel like. Don't overmix. Things till just combined. Oh, yeah. Not like delicious. You see that? I hope you guys can see it. It's bad enough you can't smell it when it's cooking, when it will be cooking. Alright, so I got about all of the chocolatey goodness I can get out of here, I think. Good for now. Alright, now I just want to mix it until it's just combined. So I guess maybe we'll just do this kind of fold over method. And hopefully that'll keep me from over mixing, but we'll get it from the bottom too as well. Trying to scrape the bowl really good as I go. I think it's getting there. It's getting close. Let's scrape across the bottom a bit and fold it over. Rotate it a bit. Scrape and fold. Oh, there's some. Rotate a bit. Scrape and fold. Oh, I think I found another patch of goodness, floury stuff. Alright, now let's go around the bowl one last time. Because I think I might be in there. Let's check at the bottom. Oh, no, I see there's a little bit, maybe right in here. I guess that's the good thing about a glass bowl is you can kind of peek and see on the bottom how it's doing. Like that, yeah. Maybe just a little bit right there. And I think that's good. Oh yeah, see, the bottom looks a lot better. Don't see any whiteness. It's a little thicker now. I was a little concerned. Seemed like a lot of liquid, not a lot of dry, but yeah, that looks really nice, yeah? All right. Oh, look, I think that's it. So it was a 1 1/4 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 4 ounces semi-sweet chocolate chips, a 1/2 cup, 1 stick of butter, 3/4 cup brown sugar, a 1/4 cup sugar, 3 eggs, and a 1/4 cup of milk. And I had all my ingredients to room temperature, or as close to room temperature as I could get them. So now we get to pour this into the pan. All that. So I got my greased pan right here. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. It looks so good. I like to try and get every bit of it that I can. Sometimes I see these people do their baking shows, and I'm like, I know you probably cooked it like 3 times already, but dang it, scrape that shit. That looks good. Why are you leaving that behind? Put that in there. Why are you wasting that goodness, you know? Yeah, let's not waste. Huh, that is really good. All right, let's spread it out. Make sure it's nice and in there. I'm not very good at making the cakes even. Sometimes I notice they're a little lopsided. All right. And then the recipe also said in the tips or whatever that if you would like to give it a little extra oomph in the chocolate department, that you could put in, I think it was, add a teaspoon of espresso powder. I didn't know there was such a thing. So espresso powder, and that will enhance the chocolate. I think that bring up the chocolate more pronounced, I guess. But I don't have that, so you can also substitute the butter for oil, so it's just like a 1/4 of the amount less oil than butter. But I don't like oil. When I would make the box cakes, and I would always taste the oil. And when I was in a special place, I met a special woman, and she told me about using mayonnaise. And I looked at her like she's crazy. But if you don't have oil or eggs, but you have mayonnaise, and you want to bake a cake that's a box cake, mayonnaise, because it's got oil and egg already in it. So there you go. I would still use the egg, but I would just substitute the oil with some mayonnaise. And sometimes though, if you put too much mayonnaise, your cake is super fall apart. So you gotta kind of experiment. I think I usually found that a 1/4 cup or less of mayonnaise was good, and then my cake was moist, not oil tasting, and kind of fall aparty. I don't know, but I'm gonna stick this in the oven, or my toaster oven, at 350. I think it's set more like 400 degrees, so I'm really gonna have to watch it and rotate it. It says to bake for 30 minutes. I don't know, maybe I'll turn the toaster oven down. I don't know, let's see. Oh yeah. I'll leave the thing on the bottom. Yeah, it's at 400. So let me just turn it down a bit. Now I'm going to turn it on to about 20 minutes, because I figure maybe 5 minutes of that's going to be heating up to begin with. And then before it goes off, I'll rotate it. Maybe give it another 10 minutes, depending on how wobbly it looks. And then, yeah. So while that's in there, I am going to make a a frosting. So there was a peanut butter cream cheese frosting. It sounded really good, and I was like, "Ooh, that could be like a Reese's thing." But there was something that it had in it that I didn't have. So I was like, well, I'll just go with the basic cream cheese buttercream frosting. And this recipe is by Melissa and Bibi from My Cake School. So, oh, and My Cake School looks pretty cool. They've got like a plethora of ways to decorate brownies, I think it was. And anyway, the part I looked at, they had like 19 different kinds of buttercream frosting, like a strawberry and cinnamon swirl or something. I don't know. There was like 19 of them. But I found this one and the mix of them. And it's just your basic cream cheese buttercream frosting. So it's just 1 stick of butter, 8-ounce cream cheese, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and then 3 to 3.5 cups brown sugar or powdered sugar. That's where my dilemma's at with this now, because I don't think that's gonna be that much powdered sugar. And look, see, this is what I was talking about with the other one, how it makes it tight. So that's gonna be an interesting part. And then I was thinking, well, I should probably wash these things, right? But then I'm like, well, it'll give it that little bit of chocolate flavor in there. So maybe I won't clean these things and I'll just do the directions. All right, so I want to beat my butter until smooth. So again, I kind of cut up my butter into little pieces and kind of separated them to try and get them to warm up a little faster. So I'll bring this guy back over here. Plug him back in. Alright, so I know I gotta secure that, so get my butter in there. So this recipe I cut in half because it was it would make enough frosting, she said, for a 3-layer 8-inch or 9-inch cake, and I am not making a 3-layer cake. And it's supposed to go to 9-inch baking dish for this cake, but I don't have that either. All I have is that 8-quart or 2-quart 8-inch, whatever. That's what I have, so that's what I'm using. Hopefully it'll be all right. Okay, got in there. Beat butter until it's smooth. So low. Goodness, I got butter all the way up here. All right. All right, that's how you know it's not professional. And my butter's still a little bit cold, but it's getting there. till smooth. Yeah, it's still kind of cold, my butter. This should go a little bit longer. Oh, goodness. Really good food is messy food, I always say. Let's make a mess. Oh yeah, it's getting there. Alright, so I do that until smooth. Okay, I'm calling that good. Now I've got my cream cheese also cut up into little cubes. So that way, hopefully, it would warm up a little bit for us. Because then it'll mix better. Get off. Get off. There you go. There we go. Let's put down. Alright, so that's 1 stick of butter, 1 8-ounce thing of cream cheese. So now I'll add, So now I'll add the salt as well. Oh yeah, I put it over here. Go. Yeah, I think everything's still kind of cold, but it's kind of cold in here too. So, I mean, I'm still chilly. Kick her up a notch. Get it to, smooth out, heat up maybe. Think it's getting better. Add my teaspoon of vanilla. Oh yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better. Alright guys, so this is where we're gonna find out maybe how much how much powdered sugar I have. Should figure that's gonna be like, that would be like half a cup right there. So let's turn her off. Alright, so here there's my half a cup. And we're gonna have to go slow so you don't have a big poof. And you just gradually turn it up a little bit once you think it's safe. Yeah. There you go. Oh yeah, it's gotten better. Alright. Oh, I gotta do that too. But that's okay because I don't need that much frosting either. So even though I cut this recipe in halves, and I still don't think I'm gonna need to use 3.5 cups, because all I want to do with this frosting is put a nice layer of goodness on the top of my cake. I'm not thinking I'm gonna do like the sides and everything. I don't know, we'll see. Decisions will be made later. Yep, there we go. Alright, she's still wobbly. Got my handy dandy toothpicks so I can check it. They used to talk about a cake tester. I'm like, isn't this the cake tester? Oh, alright. Okay, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and see how much this is. So I might have had two cups of flour, because see, this one's not even half. But that's alright. I think it's still going to be alright. Alright, so those guys could be clean now too. More dishes. Alright. Turn her on low. Clean up my mess a little bit here. So now I want to beat it until it's fluffy. So now I can go a little faster. Ooh, yeah. Fluffy. Oh, I got all kinds of powdered sugar stuck on the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, that's good. So the cake is starting to pull away a little bit from the sides, but it's still moist in the middle and you can still see it jiggling. So it's either I have to wait a little longer with my toaster oven for the time, or I have to boost my temperature up. I don't know. I think this can get a little bit fluffier. I mean, it's getting there. I think that's good. I think that's good. What do you think? That nice and fluffy? I think so. Oh. All right. And maybe with the less powdered sugar in it, it won't be as sweet either. And Jody, he doesn't care about really sweet things. That's why he really, really likes his birthday cake that I make for him every year, because it's like a sugar cookie. So it's got some sweetness to it, but it's not like overly sweet. This year when I made the frosting though, I had way too much powdered sugar and it was way too sweet. It was really sweet. So I think this is going to be right up our alleys because then it'll have the sweetness of the chocolate and then it'll balance out with maybe a little less sweet of frosting. I don't know. I'm excited to find out though. So I'm just going to scrape this up a little bit and then, you know, since I left that a little bit of that chocolate in there, it's going to have that little hint of chocolate. It turned it a little more of a, not caramely, but like a cocoa kind of a, no, not that either. And off-white. It's not white, it's not yellow, but it's got this nice color, I think, from the chocolate. Now, if you find that your frosting is too fluffy and not workable, you know, it just kind of falling apart, you can put it in the refrigerator for a couple minutes and it'll help firm it back up, but don't leave it in there too long because that'll be too firm. But yeah, so I'm going to continue to watch on my cake until it's done. I've got my frosting all ready for when it's done. When my cake does come out, I'm going to have to let it cool like completely because, yeah, and I might even after it cools to a point, might put it in the refrigerator to cool it down even further. So that way my buttercream frosting, cream cheese buttercream frosting doesn't melt. So yeah, so that's where I'm at, and I'll be back in a bit and show you how it turns out. Look at that yummy goodness. So I might have overcooked it because my toothpick came out clean, but I think that's okay. You can see it started to crack and it pulled away from the pan a bit. So yeah, I might have overcooked her. We'll know for sure in a couple few when it cools off and I can frost it up with our buttercream. Frost it up with that. So, yeah. So, my cake brownie is complete. I think it baked up nice. It might, like I said, it might be a little overcooked, but we'll find out when we eat it. Alright, so, and then I've got my cream cheese buttercream frosting that I made. It's just been sitting here waiting. I don't know, this still might be too much frosting. Can you have too much frosting? Let me know if you think you have too much frosting or not. I don't know. I don't know if there's such a thing. But I'm putting a lot on top of it. Almost all of it that I made. And I'm not very good at the frosting of things and decorating of things. So I'm sure you guys will do a much better job. Probably some professionals. So this is going to end up being a longer video, obviously, but I'm hoping that you found it enjoyable, maybe a little relaxing, maybe a little funny, silly. See, maybe it's not too much. Maybe it's going to be just right, which is what I was hoping for, because usually when I make frosting for a cake, it ends up being like way too much. At least I feel like it's way too much. This might be quite the layer of frosting though. But I figured I would just put it on the top, like so. The corners are hard. Of course, you typically do a cake in a round pan though, right? Not square. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know. I use what I have, so use what you have. And see what I mean about my cakes being kind of lopsided. I think it's kind of lopsided. But there you have it, guys. And when the husband gets home, we'll give it a try. Probably bring some out to Maude Beckford, my mother-in-law. Just trying to get that corner. Yep, so don't be a perfectionist about it either, Victoria. Just put it on there. It looks great, right? So there you have it, guys. It's my brownie cake. My brownie cake. We need some smell-o-vision over here. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this rather lengthy video. But you guys have a great day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.